through the first day of confirmation hearings for President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees. Let's get reaction tonight from syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer in Washington. Charles, your thoughts?
Well, I thought Sessions did extremely well. The Democrats did not succeed in laying a glove on him. It reached a point where towards the end, one Democratic senator was asking him about awards he got from various obscure groups, and then quoting from a member or two of those groups and asking him to return the award. The quotations were so weak you didn't even know why he was asking. And then the chairman of the committee, Chuck Grassley, ridiculed the idea that you can even keep track of all the groups you accept awards from if you're in the Senate. And it showed how unserious it had become. He gave all the right answers on things like waterboarding, on discrimination against Muslims, and then you had the demonstrators who kept disrupting, who I think undermined the cause. They held up signs saying KKK, and then one of the senators, Ted Cruz, walked Sessions through his prosecution of a KKK group that had killed a random black man in the early 1980s, ending up with an actual execution. So it showed, I mean, there was nothing there, and if he came out okay, he was supposed to be one of the real targets. I think that bodes well for the coming other nominees.
Is your feeling, as you've said on the panel, that the most vulnerable or most targeted cabinet nominee is still Rex Tillerson?
I think it could be also Pruitt, although Pruitt, who's been nominated for EPA, a state attorney general who actually is suing the EPA, I think he's going to be a big target, and he will be the subject of a lot of attacks. Although I think he will, without a doubt, hold his Republican support, so I think he will get in. Tillerson is the one who's the wild card because the Russia issue is still a live one. We now have these new reports that the Russians may have something on Trump. Tillerson is connected with Putin. And the danger for a Republican nominee, for a Trump nominee, is that you lose 3 Republican senators, and if you do, you might be denied the nomination. So you've got the sort of hardliners, the old-line Cold Warriors like John McCain and Lindsey Graham, who might, I don't think it's probable, but they might oppose Tillerson. So he's probably the one with the biggest likelihood, remains small, but the biggest likelihood of being rejected. Everyone else, I can't see them being denied.
You mentioned this report that's circulating out there. It's unconfirmed, but the Washington Post has a write-up of it as well. The classified report saying delivered to President Obama, President-elect Trump last week included a section summarizing allegations that Russian intelligence services had compromising material information on Trump's personal life and finances, according to U.S. officials, and that they only released stuff on Hillary Clinton. You know, I pressed Senator Warner on this earlier about the hacking and whether he thought somehow this made the election of Donald Trump illegitimate. And there wasn't a real answer. Are we getting closer to Democrats challenging this because of this information that you're hearing from U.S. officials?
I think that charge peters out. I think if you can't really advance that story, show evidence that it actually influenced the electorate, it's the story being repeated over and over again. I'm not sure it has broad appeal, but there's this new thing that there are reports that the Russian intelligence has stuff, damaging stuff on Donald Trump, personal and financial, being, I assume, leaked by our intelligence people. Now, what I've learned over the years in Washington is when you get these kind of spy versus spy leaks, you can't believe anybody because they're all lying, and that's what they do for a living. So you never know which side is lying. But I think the very fact that this story has surfaced is the way for the CIA to be telling Trump, you mess with us, we have a lot of information, we can mess with you. So I see it as more internecine than I do a threat from the Russians. But it could be, who knows what's at the end of this yarn?
Yeah. I mean, we'll follow it. I mean, it says it was presented not only to President Obama, but also President-elect Trump in that briefing. We will have an update on this as we get new information. You'll see it here on Fox. Charles, as always, thank you.